Ladies and gentlemen, after 99 events of countless matches, unforgettable moments, and memories to last a lifetime, it's now time to crown our Call of Duty champion at the 2015 MLG Finals. Advanced Warfare has been a memorable year for Call of Duty esports, from FaZe shocking everyone at the Columbus AW Open, Denial winning COD champs, and Optic Gaming becoming two-time X Games gold medalists. At the end of it all, two teams remain: Denial Esports and Optic Gaming. The Wolfpack versus the Green Wall. The conclusion to Advanced Warfare begins now.
Here we go, boys. Ready to hop in. Optic Gaming versus Denial championship match coming up. I am joined by the one, the only Swanee and Mr. X. We're going to run through the maps. We're going to break it down and get thoughts coming up. But just to hop in, initial thoughts, Swanee. How you feeling about this epic matchup to end Advanced Warfare?
Joe, this is what I live for, Maven, especially to be stood alongside you for this fantastic spectacle. But yeah, it's not the red versus green matchup we would have anticipated and a lot of people wanted. But in my opinion, it's equally as sort of as impressive and equally as, well, I'm looking forward to it equally. Because it's the four veterans of the Green Wall of Optic, which, you know, interestingly enough, we probably would have predicted this lineup to be in this position.
Oh, without doubt.
You know, early on in the season. But they're joined by, you know, three players alongside Classic, who we didn't really see much of before this game.
You have Slasher.
Yeah.
Wins the first event of the year against Optic Gaming. Now finds himself on a new team in the finals here against Optic. But I think the real story, you know, Optic Gaming, the beginning of the year till now, the most consistent team. They lost that first event, and I know that bothers them. And they lost COD champs. Those are, you know, arguably up until this point, two biggest events of the year. You know, the opener, and obviously the $1 million event. They want this one bad.
Well, I'll tell you what, Optic has been consistent. They finished 1 and 2 throughout, but the surprise here, potentially, I know they won champs, but it's a different roster. The ones that came out of nowhere, so to speak here, has been Denial, 12-0 in groups, started out 16-0. Let's go through this roster. Matt, why don't you start us off? Tell me about this group. Who's your favorite player on this team, and who do you look to go off in the finals?
I love Hoog. Watching Hoog play is awesome. I mean, the movement that this guy uses is unparalleled by just about anybody. And then you have Temp, versatile, you know, can run the ASM1, the bow, one of the best bows in the game, but he's the secondary bow on this roster. You're really looking at Slasher set the tone for this team, man. In this match, he's going to have to be huge. He's been in this spot before against Optic Gaming. Going to see if he comes up big.
And then as we move forward, obviously on the other side, the juggernaut, the Green Wall, Optic Gaming, they've been unreal throughout the year. You know, you talked about a couple of these guys' average placing is like 1.3 or something, Ben was saying. They've been in the championship so many times. The only outlier really is COD champs. Now we're at the second biggest event. Can they come up huge, or will they fall short yet again? You were on Optic for a small period of time. Tell me a little bit about these guys. I know you spent some time in Chicago. You're friendly with all the boys. What do you expect from them here in the finals?
I think the key word is just experience. You look at these four players, and they're not just veterans of this title. They're not just, you know, champions on this title multiple times, but across the entirety of the Call of Duty series, they have that experience. They know in those sort of high-pressure situations, you look at him, they look so calm. Formal, you love him. He's a champion on multiple titles. Calmer.
He's a wonderful
Love is
man.
an understatement.
Now, he's an amazing player. This team has been consistent throughout. You talked about, you know, they have the veteran leadership. They have the young talent. They've got really everything to go with it. Now, Matt, you mentioned a matchup, talking about how these bows are really going to have to step up for the side of Denial. Go ahead and guess what game number one's going to be. It's Hardpoint on retreat. How are they going to keep up with Formal, who's a consistent, what, 45 to 55 kill slayer in this?
I don't know. I mean, Optic Gaming, this is probably their best map. Been their best map all year long. Formal, nope. This is by far and away, I think, you know, this and Solar, probably his best hardpoint maps. Look for him to go huge here in the first one. But we just did see, you know, they lose to Elevate in a close game, but Denial was in control of that all the way up until the end. So they're a pretty good retreat hardpoint team as well.
Yeah, it was really back and forth. Elevate took it in the final seconds. Give me your thoughts on Retreat Hardpoint this first game. Who you feeling, Swan? You think this is one Optic Gaming is going to roll in, or is this dream run for Denial? Do they have a chance to close out in game one?
I mean, I completely agree with Matt. We see the map starting up in the background there. You know, number one, you have to take into consideration that on numerous occasions, this has been a map in the grand final, and Formal specifically has gone absolutely off. And then again, Denial have just lost this map. The one map they lost in the previous series, you have to give it to Optic.
All right, well, the game's getting ready to start, but Matt, give me a final point. What are you seeing going into this one, bud?
You know, pay attention to Hook. He gives Optic trouble sometimes with the verticality that he plays with. They're going to have to figure out a way to counteract that as well. But I think Optic Gaming comes out here and sets the tone early.
This is going to be one for the ages, an epic final. You know, you had some, again, looking forward to potentially Optic FaZe, but if you could pick anyone else that you would want here from just an organization standpoint, from a player standpoint, you got two of the youngest players in the game on Denial. Again, the organization that won champs, and now they're trying to make a run again at the second biggest event of the year. Let's toss it over to the casters. Puckett and Benson, take it away, boys.
Thank you, guys. Here we go. Starting things off with Formal. We talked about how strong he has been all year long on this game type. He's normally good for at least 40. Maven says up to 55. He's going to be the strong battle when you look at Optic Gaming. On the other side, though, Slasher putting on a show early. 3-1 opening for him, and it looks like Temp is going to keep up with him. 3-1, 3-1, 2-1. Big slam coming out in the first minute, but the question is, can Denial do this for the full 10?
Yeah, that's the problem right there, Chris, is you can maybe do it for the first minute against Optic Gaming, but continuously doing it for, you know, a full 10 minutes in a game of Hardpoint is so tough. But if there's a battle player who can potentially do it and has done it in the past, Slasher definitely up there.
Going over to Hook. Matt loves this guy, the movement. So fast, so smooth. Able to do so much damage while just maneuvering across the map, and you're going to see Hook taken down up top. It's going to be Karma holding down that position inside the hill. Scumpy waiting for him around the corner. Denial going to try and break in. Let's see how Slasher plans to do it. So far, Karma's just been hanging back here. Hasn't had to do anything. Finally, Temp is going to get in, and instantly Optic takes care of him.
And for me, Karma is going to be so big in this series, Chris. Absolutely massive. He got a lot of confidence earlier on in the day, and unbelievably sick two-piece snipe in that S&D. And from there, he definitely looked as if he just massively improved. Hook, though, picking up a three-piece, looking for the fourth, will finally fall. And it's going to be Temp pushing out of that hard point. The score currently 33-30 in favor of Optic Gaming.
Haven't shown a whole lot of Optic yet. Wanted to introduce you to these Denial guys. You just saw them against Elevate, and I wanted to see, is the gas still on the pedal? Foot still on the pedal. We'll see if they can run away with this one, Ben. Let's go over to Optic, though. 9-7, Crim 6, in-game leader, most kills on the squad. Karma doing the objective work. Who are you looking for to have the strongest performance, though, if Optic wants to take all of the hard points against Denial?
I mean, for me, it's going to be Formal. The guy has been so consistent in this event. I expect Scumpy to be hot on his heels as well, but Formal's battle presence throughout all of MLG finals has just been absolutely sublime, both in Respawn and Search and Destroy. He was getting pumped up, which is something you rarely actually see from Formal. He's normally a very focused, kind of quiet guy in the booth, but before this grand final started, he was on his feet, high-fiving his teammates. This means a lot to him right now.
Formal after that ace, it looks like he went into a different gear. Karma watching the back end. You're going to see just one player inside trying to contest. 4 down again for Denial. Optic outslaying their opponents now. You can see everyone starting to find their rhythm. Karma on a 3 streak outside, getting some help. Look at Scump's angle. Finally, Karma's going to fall, but that's a big chunk of time for Optic. This was a team that never used to rotate. It looks like they're not going to do it here yet either.
Karma has started this one off so well, though. His objective gunfights have been key, and Optic Gaming have themselves the lead, 70 points to 47. As the hardpoint rotates down below, Karma still on your screen. He's going to look to try and pick off Classic at range. Gets the headshot, but unfortunately can't find the kill. Nice play from Classic, locking down that spawn for Denial. The Wolfpack desperately trying to come back and reduce this small deficit.
Nice shots from Slasher. He's going to look for another. Teammate in front gets in the way. Temp is going to be dropped. So small errors here from Denial could turn costly. 3 members of Optic all inside. Crim 6 comes down the stairs. That's Karma actually pushing out with him. And you're going to have Scump moving around this map, trying to get in their face. So far, though, SMG's basically going even. In fact, you look at all players in this lobby for Optic Gaming. They're all sitting at even numbers. It's been the objective gunfights that you touched on. Karma, a big factor so far.
And I think one of the key players for me for Denial is going to be Hook. If Hook can kind of step up to another level like we know he can. He's currently sitting at 13 and 16. Gonna keep him kind of highlighted in the back of our minds for this hardpoint retreat game, because if he can start winning some big gunfights against Karma on those hills, then now easily gonna be able to reduce this deficit. Beautiful play from Karma, by the way.
The objective was on the other side of the map. Karma knew what he needed to focus on, though. Working his way up poolside, going to clear the way for his team. Crim6 inside, waiting in the attic, waiting for the push. He knows it's coming, can't handle the first player. Karma now trying to jump in. Gets Temp, it's going to be Classic in the action. He's able to get 2 now. Hook also there. Look at that kill feed. 4 down for Optic Gaming. This is where Denial can catch up. They fell behind by 45 points. Still 5 minutes, 20 seconds on the clock. This hill could be their money one.
And it's pretty much even slaying from Optic Gaming as well, which is a big, big worry if you're a Denial fan. Not what you want to see. Normally, throughout this weekend, you've had one Optic Gaming player kind of slacking a little bit, but every time Denial is pushing, they're just getting slayed out. They can't get close to this hard point. The final 10 seconds, Classic thinking about maybe pushing in one more time, decides against it, just going to watch to see if Karma is going to push out and potentially pick up a very easy kill.
Inside the hard point, Formal's just hanging out. Not a whole lot of attempts by Denial to break through. You're going to see Hook setting up in the new hardpoint. Temp is going to be switching over to the ASM-1 once again. Now pulling out the bow at range. Going to find Scump. Scump too fast for the first kill. Too much pressure all the way across the map. That is Formal putting down heavy cover fire. Temp, though, staying alive, sneak it in, but Optic continues to score, Ben.
Yeah, they're starting to come away with this one. 126 to 79. As Karma on that hard point, he will fall. Slasher should be there though for Denial. Actually, in fact, 3 players flooding it in terms of slaying. Denial starting to catch up a little bit. Temp at 24 and 20, really starting to step up.
Already 7 captures for Temp, 7 from Hook. On the other side, it's been Crim6 and Scump breaking into the hard points with Karma. And Temp is going to be rotating around. Picks up 1. Classic in the feed as well. 2 players coming from towels. Down goes Temp. Slasher is there, though. Great backup. And, you know, Ben, we talked to Enable.
Yes.
Phase out of the tournament, but Enable staying to watch his friends. We asked him, how did you take down Optic? You have to beat them in 2 best-of-7s. How are you guys able to pull this off at the Season 3 finals? What was his answer, Ben?
That was, you need to win the first map. If you don't win the first map, it's going to be pretty much impossible. Optic just going to get too much momentum. And, you know, Enable said he could see Denial potentially taking that first best-of-7, and that second best-of-7 is anyone's game at that point. Right now, though, Optic Gaming, they're drawn a little bit lucky. They haven't really seen a retreat throughout the entire tournament when it comes to the grand final in its first map. So it's the favorite map, their best map. It's one you expect to see them win. They're now getting a little unfortunate in that respect, but still, it's a relatively close game. Less than 50 points separating between the two. Slasher starting to heat up a little bit here. 2 kills in quick succession, throwing out those stun grenades. Still has 1 more at his disposal. 15 seconds left on this hill. This is big time for Denial now, Chris.
We haven't seen any explosive sprees out of any of the players yet in this game. Scumpy sitting at 27 and 27 is basically picking up 2, dying, falling on his next attempt. Over there on the opposite side of the map, though, we're going to have Hook moving past 2 players. He sneaks in somehow, causing damage. Classic's going to pick up a kill around the perimeter as well. Hook pushing outside, had 2 players behind him, and Optic really making a few mistakes here. Denial's able to slip in, and this game's getting closer and closer. 2 minutes 38 left on the clock. This one coming down to about a 15-point game.
Slasher looking for the third, not going to find it, but he bought his teammates enough time. Temp now on your screen, firing out the grenades, and you have to again go back to that play from Hugh. Massive stuff from him. Not only did he get the kill on the hard point, he also pushed out and picked up the anchor as well, allowing his teammates to break in, and Denial's making this one a little interesting. 153 to 149, and Denial starting to climb. Hard point will be contested on board with Hook. Can he find the second? Yes, he can. Nice play from him. Third play's going to be pushing in. Hook with a 3-piece, looking for 4. Hook not going to be able to connect.
Hook doing so much damage. Temp right there with him inside the hill. We're moving in 10 seconds. Denial going to try and milk every last one here. Hook is going to be left. Calls it out that there's a player inside. Great help coming in. That time it was Temp. And you'll see his teammates. Slasher's down low. Classic's with them. They're trying to get the spawns locked down. And Denial has taken the lead with 1:45. It's anyone's game. Optic now on the back foot trying to break through. Scumpy's going to do exactly that. Formal looking over his shoulder, and Formal is going to stay alive. A big kill right there on Hook.
And all it takes is 1 explosive streak like we just saw from Hugh from either team, and we can see this game go either way. It's a 10-point game. Denial with the lead currently. Scumpy trying to break in the hill. There's 1. Looking for second on the left-hand side. He should be able to connect with that. Reloads. Plenty of time. The big assist comes in from Formal. Optic Gaming now starting to reduce that deficit, but Challenge is going to come in as well. Scumpy desperately needs some support from his teammates, but his support which just isn't coming. Denial slaying from the outside.
Karma still inside, still scoring. They've brought it back within 5. Temp is going to push up. Big kill there. Stops the run with A nice nade follow-up on Crim 6. The rotation's going down, though, Ben. Denial knows it's all about this last hill. You got Slasher, your best AR, out on poolside. He didn't see the pressure coming, so that is going to hurt as Classic is going to have his hands full. Hook is up top. Optic now with a 6-point advantage, but Denial still maintaining control. Great kills outside. Temp doing so much work.
And look how far Optic Gaming is spawning away. Who can just sit here and just completely relax for a couple of seconds? This is going to be a little bit of a lead that they're going to develop. Temp isn't able to win that gunfight. Hook's still waiting patiently. Has Classic in his bow down below. Formal and Crim both picking up kills. Classic able to just kind of delay it a little bit. Hook desperately needs to try and find the kill. Doesn't even matter. Temp turns around. 22 seconds left. It looks like Denial is going to take this one.
Temp has taken over the game for Denial. 15 on the clock left, and you hear the crowd getting fired up. Denial on a streak, taking out Optic Gaming in arguably their best game mode.
Unbelievable start, and map as well. And to go back to that quote from Enable, he said, if Denial has any chance of doing it, Chris, they need to take map number 1. It is exactly what they did. And honestly, the big play for me was Hook. When it came down to that circle hard point, he had an explosive spree, brought Denial straight back into the game. Very, very intelligent player. And then Temp at the end, as you said, Puckett, just locked it down.
Definitely the biggest series of their career. Hook and Temp, too young for COD champs, $100,000 on the line for first place. They want to walk home with a big paycheck, and they are definitely playing like that. 39 and 34, a 1.15 for Hook, a 1.25 from Temp, and probably the most important kills of the entire game coming from Temp there in the last minute.
Yeah, just clutched up for Denial when his team needed it, and Optic Gaming just not able to spawn in. They just kind of were forced to spawn out from Denial. Denial 1-0 up in the first best of 7 here at the grand final. For now, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we return, though, we're going to Search and Destroy Recovery.